Lucky 56.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
I'm laughing to myself because I could just hear in film session. But, Coach, I was throwing to Odell Beckham Jr. Of course I thought he was open.
They'd love to go deep downfield to him, though. Such a threat.
Yeah, a rare incompletion because most of the time we expect him to actually come up with the catch.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10.
Detroit!
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
He'll drop to throw. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be a second down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So, as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3. They'll drop to throw. He finds Beckham complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. That one goes for 24 yards. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him. And he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Detroit!
They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brandon Graham in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Over the middle to Beckham. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen to Barkley. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A good pickup there on first as the screen pass gets him 8. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Giants take it right down and score on the opening drive. Extra point good by Catanzaro, and that makes the score 7-0. Catanzaro out now as he'll kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Okay, let's just make this one simple. We know that the running game is not their thing, but they can't just throw it on every single down without expecting some real heat from the pass rush.
They dump off underneath to Ajayi. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
This is Ajayi, and he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Back live with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the... Here's Ajayi. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. Brendan Langley there to get him down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Looking to throw, Garoppolo. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Open man right side is Ingram. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, and that was a nice job of improvising, but it's not normal. Usually when the screen pass is taken away, you're taught to just throw the ball at the ground at the feet of the receiver so that you don't get it intercepted and just start over, but he ended up finding another receiver.
Leopard, set, 319, 319.
Here's a give to Barkley. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
Flush to his right. He'll get this out to Barkley, complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 23 yards on the play.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
From the 32 now. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Escaping the pressure right. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Gone!
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw, eluding the pressure right. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
21. White.
Garoppolo now, 1st down throw. Drops it off to Ajayi. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
21.
On 2nd down, here's Garoppolo. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I know the initial focus was on how far that pass was downfield, but how about the coverage on the play? Able to stay with him, get his hands where the receiver's hands were going to try and catch the ball, tips it up in the air, and knocks it away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
13. 6.
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Buying time to his left. And he fires one that's intercepted. Brendan Langley picks it, and they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
Man, we see a lot of quarterbacks try and do this. They get out of the pocket, they get in trouble, and they try and force the ball into their star receiver to make a play, sometimes whether he's open or not. And I think this time, it was definitely an or not.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. Spins past him. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run-blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big game.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Watch him now, Barney. Over.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Well, earlier this half, you were wondering how they were going to defend him. I think you used the term bottle him up at different levels. They've struggled to do that.
They certainly have, because when you see them approach, in order to bottle him up at different levels, that front line's got to take care of business. Otherwise, he starts to sift through.
Now let's go. 3-19.
On second down, here's Barkley. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Timmy Jernigan, the Florida State man, in on the stop.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
Looking deep downfield. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
Now after the made field goal, Catanzaro to boot this one away on the kickoff. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
He finds an opening past the 40. Jay's gonna go. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jay, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly for 6. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. New York set to take the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Hurry up, here we go. 3.
They begin with a run by Barkley. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Caught left side, it's Beckham. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
On first down, he'll drop to throw. He'll complete this to Ingram, his tight end. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. We got three, fellas. Gone, 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 gone.
They'll look to throw here on first down. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Catanzaro's kick is right through. So we've reached the second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works.
Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! 11.
Garoppolo to throw on second down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll bring up a third down. The Eagles on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
11. 1 Omaha. Left 80. 180. 13.
A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8.
Here we go. 180. 11.
They do go for it. It's Garoppolo. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
3-19.
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley finding room to the 20. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his second touchdown of the night. And thanks to the interception, the Giants offense cashes in with 6. Pete Carroll in that familiar hands-on-knees pose. His guys will go for 2 here. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That is incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
They'll begin the drive with a jive. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that's caught inside the 30. And he's able to get this down deep on the Giants side of the field. A big play there for Philly. And even 60 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now it's a jive. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
I got this. Here we go. 21.
They run again with a jive. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jay Ajayi with his 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score. Elliott good with a PAT, and that will get him one closer. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And New York set to take the field.
Lucky 56. Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
Now, that's a pretty play right there, and what I'm thankful for is it wasn't me in that situation, because one of the toughest things about defending the deep ball is not panicking, because the longer you run with a receiver, you're trying to figure out, am I close to him? Can I make a play on the football? Will I be there when the ball actually arrives, what we call the moment of truth? And in this case, the defender did not panic, stayed right with it, and batted it away.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this one is incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, helped force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. The Giants on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Back to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. He's picked off near his own 48. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
They run with Ajayi. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
I got you. 13.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 3rd down. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive.
21.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
I got this. 21.
Snap comes at 1. Garoppolo. It's complete left side to Aguilar. And he'll go down at the 28. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through the window.
The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down.
11. 180.
From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Dancing to his left. And he will go down outside of the pocket for his sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
And the kick by Elliott is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
And now out come the Giants. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10.
Here we go. Brad 38. Brad 38.
A spin. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
Detroit,
I am
Detroit.
speechless. I am without speech.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39. Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
Now this time he'll look to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. But I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Ajayi. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2.
21. 21.
Garoppolo looks to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down.
Go ahead. What do you need? What do you need?
They'll run it now out of the guns. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Give him 4 yards on the play, and that will lead us into the 2-minute warning. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This for the lead in the final stages. And Elliott puts this one through. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they've managed the clock exactly right.
And New York set to take the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. He'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And got his man complete. Touchdown, Giants. Chris Conley, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the G-men have taken the lead here in the 4th. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They're going to keep it on the ground. And he will get into the end zone for the 2 points, and that helps. That gives him a 7-point lead. Catanzaro out now as he'll kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe
that.
Bashed it.
Super toe.
He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Eli Apple, good to the core there as he gets in and knocks it away. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there. And
it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. They'll look to throw. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Sometimes it's hard to figure, but you can live with incompletions in this situation. You can't live with these short gains that take time off the clock.
You know who loves it? This defense. The Eagles on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 8.
11.
to throw. Being chased out left. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
So another big shot dodged there defensively. Now they're just 1 more incompletion away from salting away this victory. And I know this feeling. They're almost giddy, but they have to stay focused and locked in. They can make one big mistake and throw it all away.
They failed once in this spot earlier, but the offense will stay out to go for it on 4th down. Now Garoppolo, gotta have this one. Aguilar has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Back to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw is Garoppolo. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Back to throw, Garoppolo. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And it's a good return here as he'll get all the way up close to the 35. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A handoff to Barkley. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Giants, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, the loss drops them back to 4-3 so far. And they'll get an extra week to think about it as the midseason bye might be coming at just the right time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.